All right, what up, Who That Nation? This is No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Marley G, and today we have a special guest, a man of many hats. We got Hold the Mayo, Devin, on here. You might have seen him on Instagram with content creation. You might have seen him eating red beans, Mr. Red Beans, man. You might have seen him in the dome, passing out the Saints to the top of his lungs. Man, we got Hold the Mayo on the building, man. Saints Twitter public figure, man. How you doing?
Doing good, bro. Just rolling with the punches, bro, of the Who That Nation right now, bro. And you might have seen me in the dome with my head down in my lap. Look, man, it's been something. It's been a ride.
Like I say all the time, man, my mom's, she watched General Hospital, all my children, and all these stories and drama series coming up when I was coming up. All I gotta do is watch the Saints.
Yeah. We ain't even gotta watch
Drama,
Lifetime, none of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You could watch the Saints, and it's gonna have something every week, bro. Every week is some type of drama, but that's the nuances of my team, like Wolf say.
That's how I knew the Saints are still breathing like the Saints, because it's gotta be that way. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
All right, man. So I'm gonna go ahead on and get into a little bit of background on you for people that don't know you, or just not all the way familiar. Your name is Devin. I'm pretty sure you're from New Orleans, right?
I'm taping on Paris, right down east, about 15 minutes away from New Orleans. Araby, I don't know if that sounds familiar. That's where I was born. I've lived in Chalmette, Miro, name it, and got hit by Katrina. What was that? I was 13. Uh, when Katrina hit, man, I lived in Arkansas for a year. I lived in on the North Shore in Abita. Shout out to Abita Beer. I lived over there for a few years, like 3 or 4 years, and then went to school in Baton Rouge. I've been around the boot, dude. And then I've been in New Orleans ever since I got out of college, in the city. So, yeah, bro, I love the state, man. Love everything about it.
So how did you grow up a hardcore Saints fan? Like, where did the passion come from?
Oh man, I could probably tell you where it started, dude. To be honest with you, just give me a second here. I'd probably say right around the Danny Werfel days. When we had got Danny Werfel, and that was kind of a big deal because we were going through some quarterbacks. I was a kid. I remember going through the Billy Towers. Obviously Danny Werfel, Perry Collins. That's about when really, as a kid, man, my first jersey, my stepdad ever got me was a Kerry Collins jersey. So that's I remember going to the dome and just watching the Saints every week. That's when I remember starting.
Mm, man, you went way back. Like, I became a fan during the Aaron Brooks days. Deuce
Yeah.
McAllister, Joe Horn. That's when I really started getting into the team. And learning all the players and learning how the game of football really goes and things of that nature. But we all know you're a Saints fan. We all see you in a lot of your skits. You've been doing a lot of comedy skits on Instagram. I've been enjoying the ones you collaborate with Corey with the K with is very funny and entertaining to me, and very relatable. But when it comes to the stuff I think you're most well known for is when you go out to these different places trying all the foods, trying all the red beans
Yeah.
and things of that nature. How did that come about?
So just because it's been a few years, so it's kind of a long story, but not really. It's like I sold cars for 5 years after I got out of college. I sold cars and I just got sick of it. You know what I'm saying? Like I kept picturing, like I don't know what age, maybe you just start really thinking about your life a lot. If I had to tell you, I'd probably say somewhere around 26, 27. I started really thinking life a lot, even though I was successful in the car business and shit like that. It just wasn't like I didn't want to see myself there, you know, 10 years from then, 15 years from then, sitting in the same desk, talking to the same people about the same cause, just on repeat, just on repeat in life, and I really got really sick, bro, like really sick about it. I was a manager. I just got promoted. And I just said, you know what, man, I'm going to start making videos on the internet. That's how it started. I didn't start thinking, hey, I'm going to, do red beans and rice and all this stuff. I said, I'm going to make videos on the internet. I made a couple decent. And when I say decent, I mean like might have got 1,000 likes or something like that. It's 2019, early 2020. I made a Mardi Gras video, quit my job the day after that because I just said, hey, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. And then I just finally, through doing all kinds of videos, all kinds of content, I just stumbled across the all being all day thing. Like, we've all eaten red beans every Monday, and for my family, bro, we ate them on Tuesdays too. Sometimes, bro, it was endless. I mean, they used to have to eat red beans when you never wanted to eat them again. You would have my parents were constantly firing them up. So, like, I just remember that, and I just saw that there was no like nothing on social media about red beans. I was noticing that because I was doing a lot of internet stuff, a lot of blogging, looking on the internet, so, and I just didn't see anything on red beans. And I said, man, I bet you I could go 100 days in a row, going to a different spot. I even told myself that in the beginning, and I'm at 187 now. Something over years.
So 100 days in a row. Is there like your top three favorites?
I don't just because there's been so many, I don't have in like like top or anything like that because there's so many goats. Like definitely like Chicken's Kitchen, um, Queen's Cuisine. There's a few. I just don't want to keep going and leave nobody out because there's so many good ones. But man, I've been to gas stations that'll make you catch the Holy Ghost after you eat a hot plate out that gas station. I'm dead serious, bro. Like I've been places you never imagine that would have good food, that have good food. It's crazy.
Is there any Saints players, Pelicans players that DM you and ask you what's the best spots to eat?
That's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that. And to answer your question, no.
Mm.
I got a lot of, I wouldn't even say like Saints or Pelicans players, but I do have like a decent amount of notable local people that follow me. Um, and no, dude, not really. But I was definitely not Saints Pelicans. That
Mm.
that has
Uh,
never happened.
uh, when it comes to your lane of content creation with the food, um, we see the high level of influence of guys like Keith Lee right now. Is it kind of surreal just seeing all the influence he have when it comes to going into someone's place of business and he could have like society really turn that business down or really just go check it out if it has a good review. And then even from the perspective of the business owners when they get a bad review, how do you feel about when you just see the status of Keith Lee on where he's doing it on the level he's on?
First thing I think about is, bro, I have to have been doing it longer than him. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
second thing I think about is we do two completely different things.
Okay.
So that's the first two things I think about. I know people will be like, oh man, no, y'all do the same thing. That's not true. So because I've been doing it for so long, I could tell you for sure, I'm doing this to just go show people my experience. Take what you want from it. Imagine me just giving you a program to look at. You take whatever you want from it. You could take that. The building don't look that good. The people seem nice. The food looks good. Food looks all right. Whatever. The bathroom, the conversations outside of it. There's so many elements to my segment. And when you watch Keith Lee, that and it's not a knock. He's way big, dude. He's huge. Like it's just him eating, giving a review. I've never given a review.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been given a number or a letter or I don't even know. You know what I'm saying? I've never done that. So when I go do RB and all day, bro, it is literally as authentic. That's the word I would have to use to describe it. It is as authentic as me leaving my house right now and just going to get something to eat and at the iPhone camera running. That's it. I don't, when people take what they want from it. Dude, I've been on the news to talk about getting exposure for places, and I'm just kind of thinking like, man, this is not what I was thinking, but I love it. Like happy for anybody that can gain exposure off of what I do locally, but I don't go places thinking, man, I'm gonna turn your place around. I don't do that. I just go.
Yeah, we we kind of agree when it comes to that. Like I feel like you really touch the people. You get way more of the essence of New Orleans when you going into these places. You really is like deep into the culture when you go into these places. And I could really see the difference when you break down that comparison when you say it like that. You know, a lot of people probably wouldn't have seen it like that now that you have really just broke it down.
Well, I don't know if I even broke it down well, but like, I feel you might see what I'm saying. Like, I it's different. And look, there comes backlash even when I'll react and be like, man, shit, like this ain't it. Without it's very quick, it's brief. If I don't like the food, bro, like I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna go on to the next part of the experience. But you see the backlash that happens, like, Keith Lee got so big. That's the problem with getting so big. You can't make nobody happy. You know, I feel bad for the dude. This guy's doing something he created and he had all of Atlanta at his neck. Dude, it's the internet. Like it's not that ever that deep, but it's also like, we created these influences and stuff, bro. Like, how can we now get mad at him, bro? Like, same people that were mad at him were probably loving all his videos before that.
All right, so you a man of many hats. You doing the content creation on the Instagram when it comes to the sketch. You're doing your real lane when it comes to the going in the restaurants, checking out the food, and you also doing your podcast. When it comes to all these different hats you wearing, does it get overwhelming when it comes to like being a man of many hats?
Yeah, you always got pressure, always got pressure. If you don't have pressure, you're probably not doing something. You should always have pressure, I feel like, but it's how you handle it, right? So I handle it a little better than what I did when I first started. But the key is when I first started in 2019, I had a podcast, and even though nobody was, maybe a handful of people were watching, I had a podcast. I was doing skits. I was trying stuff out, you know, just constantly just doing stuff on camera. So now when I do it 4 years later, I'm way more comfortable about it. I'm way more, seasoned into it. It's a good job, like any job. If I sat there and turned wrenches for 4 years straight, man, I'd probably be pretty good at turning wrenches. So I I feel the pressure always, but I don't. I love doing the stuff I do. I love doing the cardio. I love doing all day and all this stuff. And anytime I feel like it gets pressure, I'll be thinking like, okay, well, everybody else, for the most part, like they work in regular jobs. So it's not that bad.
And where does the whole the Mayo come from?
That's what I just fit. That was just the name. I don't like Mayo. So
Mm-hmm.
even though I love Blue Plate, they're one of my sponsors. I don't eat the shit. But but I've never always been that way. And anybody that runs into me, if you around me a long enough time and we go to eat and stuff like that, you're gonna see, I don't like mayo, I don't like sour cream, none of that stuff. I just
I love a shrimp on French or hot sausages on French with mayo. Me, I love it.
I love a hot sausage on French so much. I just don't get mayo. I love it. I love the sandwich. Love it so much. But yeah, so I thought Hold the Mayo at the time, and when I did this was in July of 2019. Man, I just thought it was a name to where like, no matter what, man, people would like raise their eye or like they want to know more about it, and it kind of turned out to be that way for the most part. People really hold the Mayo. Who's this Hold the Mayo guy? Like it's always Hold the Mayo, Hold the Mayo, Hold the Mayo. So I don't know, bro. It's just stuck.
Yeah,
It's stuck.
sometimes it's stuck. Sometimes it's stick like that. You just you hear something, you just keep on hearing it, and just sometimes you just go with the flow, and that be somebody niche. But you went to talking about you hate Mayo. Let's go ahead on and just segue because I'm knowing you hating this Saints season. How did you feel about the Detroit Lions game?
Went in very low expectations. Because that's where we at. You go to the game now, as of last week, really as of a couple of weeks before, you just go in with low expectations. Almost like it's kind of like a joke type vibe, and they start playing. See, that's the Saints. They'll start as ass as you remember them the week before. You know what I'm saying? And then 21-0. And then next thing you know it, bro, they're going to play their hearts out. Almost like, hey, man, we're not, you didn't come for no reason.
You didn't come to watch us for no reason. And then they just stab you in the gut. That's and it's not just a stab in the gut like the other player made a miraculous play on them or something. It's not like a really good play. It's not what it is. It's like the Saints, this roster, this year's roster, they do things, they make critical mistakes at the worst times. They do things bad that really like head scratching bad. There's so much that like points to like they just not coach well. It's gross, bro. It really is, man. But we back to we humbled. We humbled again, and we humbled in a bad way, man. We humbled in a $60 million guaranteed way, that's my least favorite part about it all.
Yeah, man. It is what it is when it comes to the contract with Derek Carr. I'm not too really much worried about it. Like a lot of people, my main thing is I just want the coaching staff gone, and I want to just draft a QB of the future in the draft. Like that's the only thing I'm looking forward to is the offseason. And it's sad because we only played 12 games already, and I'm already looking forward to the draft. And that lets you know what type of season you got as a fan right there.
And you just hate that because, man, we get so accustomed. I always like to really bring this deep. We get so accustomed to okay, on to the next season. It is so hard to stay alive for another football season. I always really try to emphasize this, bro. Every single season, dude, it gets longer and harder, and you get older, and to stay alive. Yeah. So, I hate when the Saints blow it, bro. Blow an opportunity. Just get in the playoffs, man. We asking for not a lot of needy things, bro. We not. The fan base is not, bro. We asking for a decent product that can get us into contention to compete. That's it, bro.
Well, you mentioned getting to the playoffs. Me personally, I'm on the side of the fence. I don't want to get in the playoffs. I don't want to see this team get in the playoffs. That's going to be so detrimental to the season. I feel like what side of the fence are you on? Because it's the fan base is divided. Some of the fans, they want to get into the playoffs. They feel like their allegiance to the team is to always see the team win no matter what. But some people, like myself, feel like if we win this division, that'll be more detrimental and it'll set us back even more because we're going to bring Dennis Allen back. What side of the fence are you on, and how do you feel about the other side?
I'm definitely in the allegiance, and I'm in the allegiance of man, I want the team to always win, do good every week, all that, right? But if you ask me today, if you ask me after this last game, it's no, there's no way. There's no way, bro. I'd have to be a psychopath because we watched 14 weeks or 13 weeks of this. What makes anybody think that this team, the one that we've seen 13 weeks of, bro? I mean, the Saints they haven't had that many problems with injuries. They had a few. They haven't had that many problems with injuries. This team we've seen 13 weeks of, bro, no, bro. You want to be in the top 10 of the draft at this point. You want to be. And the only way that I settle with Derek Carr coming back, me personally, obviously I can't do nothing about it, but the only way I'm at peace with it is if he comes back next year and we have a dude. I said this on my show on Sunday. We have a dude behind him that's there, ready to roll, that we drafted in the first round. You know what I'm saying? That, hey, when Carr comes out next year and shows he ain't, I got to say, his brain cells ain't there. When he shows his brain cells ain't there, then we can put this dude in. It's not a talent thing with Derek Carr. He really, remember, we got him because he's got a good arm and this and that. It's a brain thing. That's what it is.
I said the same thing. I don't like his mental makeup, his mental processing, and his makeup literally.
That's what I said. Yeah.
But, man, I kind of detach myself from emotion, and just having anxiety and having nerves going into the game and superstitions and all that. Like, I was so superstitious down to the what drawers I'm gonna wear that day. Like, if I was wearing some red drawers, I'm not wearing it anymore because we playing the Falcons. I'm putting on black ones. I'm putting on black briefs. Like, I was so I detached from all that. I don't give a fuck about what I'm wearing, what I'm doing. Whatever's gonna happen with these dudes, that's what they're gonna go out there and do. Like, I don't even care no more. And I'm really like that because of Dennis Allen. I think I really hate Dennis Allen. Like,
he's a hard dude to like.
he's a hard dude to like, bro. Even if he was, at least if he was horrible, at least give me something to be like, well, at least he kind of seemed like somebody I probably would just say, oh, he's a guy's guy, he's a man. Like, I don't see nothing about that in Dennis Allen. Like, I don't think players would even be willing to run through the wall for him.
Yeah, no, that for sure. That last part right there, for sure. It's just not. Look, dude, look at what the Texans did, bro. Oh, come on. I mean, they went and got the Mecca Ryans. Dude was a baller, tackling machine linebacker when he played in the pros for the Texans. Like, they did it right, bro. They went and got a guy that there's no way that you're not going to want to run through a wall for this guy. Yeah. Dennis Allen, I wouldn't run through a Starbucks line for Dennis Allen. There's no like, there's nothing. I'm not even saying being a macho man, just like, man, tell somebody to go somewhere, like show some aggression, and it's just nothing, bro. We get these political answers every week from Dennis Allen, and then it goes on to Derek Carr, which is worse. That's why people can't stand either one of them, because they work in tandem with their political answers. I mean, that Derek Carr interview last week in the middle of the week, one of the worst Saints interviews I've maybe seen since I've been alive 31 years. Seriously, it was terrible.
Yeah, when Nick posted that, I said before he even hit 1 million views, I said, man, this video gonna hit 1 million views, bro. And that right there, that's when the city, I think, turned on Derek Carr. That's when you heard all the boos when he come in and Taysom Hill comes out.
Yeah, and it's just like, bro, like, it's easy. All you got to do, man, take accountability. That's it, bro. Say that you're pissed off. Dude, when he lost me is when he said, I'm not sad to everybody out there. Why not? Why are you not?
Well, the signs were there when he first came here, and his first meal was a Chipotle, man. He should have been looking at your videos and got a recommendation from you on where to go to get embraced and get embedded and be a fabric of this culture. That's all he had to do.
Hey, people laugh at that, but actually, to be honest with you, that's the first sign of closed-minded human, is what that is. Closed-minded. Wasn't even trying to hear it. Straight to Chipotle.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to please the city of New Orleans, man. Just go out there and go fight, and just don't be an ass, bro. Just don't be an asshole, bro. We're going to be right behind you, bro. Like, it's not hard. Like, even when Drew been with us with all these seasons, and I remember that one time Drew had caught a lot of that flack when he talked about the flag, but Drew had just corrected everything, and it was just swept right under the rug. Nobody didn't care about it no more, because Drew is Drew. And it's just a different type of person when it comes to leadership and taking accountability and just doing everything that's necessary to, be out there with your guys that you're in the trenches with.
And that's the thing. You got to know, like, it's not like we didn't sign a right guard. It's not Derek Carr, the right guard. It's Derek Carr, the quarterback. The quarterback is a leader in this sport. Okay, so which means if you're getting paid a lot of money and you're the quarterback, you're probably going to have a lot of expectation on you, which definitely doing a semi-decent interview when we in crisis, that definitely falls under it. And that was the worst, bro. That was the worst energy. It was like he was talking to the fans and the media like they were kids. Bro, we not the ones that are out there on the field act, bro. Because if you ask me, I think Andy Dalton played better last year than what Derek Carr has this year. That's just me.
Yeah, man. A lot of people try to tell us like we just getting Andy Dalton 2.0, but ain't nobody wanted to hear that. We wanted to just keep our faith and just, but nobody expected to be this bad. Now, I ain't gonna just put everything on Derek Carr. I do think a lot of the blame is with Pete Carmichael, because he don't really uses the weapons that he has at his disposal to the best of their ability. But at the same time, it do, like, when those plays are there, Derek Carr, he misses it a lot. And even when he goes to the open guy, he throws a hospital ball, or he'll throws it out of bounds, or he'll throw it and it'll come short, and he wouldn't hit the guy in stride. And that's just aggravating.
Yeah, and I said, no, that was like, you look at Derek Carr's completions and attempts and yards and whatever and judge him by that. You cannot, because you got to realize that this dude, and we realize this, trust me, because we watch him every game, dude, this dude holds the ball so long to where he takes several sacks. But I can tell you this, I don't have to look at the games for this. Derek Carr has not had a game where he hasn't taken a sack. And he takes sacks in clean pockets. It's super weird. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, and then you got to get to the culprit, Dennis Allen. Like, this dude right here, he can't even have the defense looking good anymore. And it's like, people want us to get to the playoffs, but we have no components to match up in the playoffs. We don't have good quarterback play. We don't have a good coaching staff. We don't have a good run game. We can't stop the run. We can't stop mobile quarterbacks. Now, add on tight ends. We can't stop tight ends to the list now. So it's like, man, you could be bad in at least one or two of them categories, but not all of them.
But that's what bad teams do, and it always starts at one spot. And where did it start this year? It started with the offense, the play calling, etc., right? And then if you just don't get it right, and it comes week 13, and you still ain't got it right, the whole team, doesn't matter how good the defense is. They're gonna it all bounces off. Bro, this is not a team that is like, losing the game off effort, right there in the end. They've had a few, but a lot of the games are like, they just like not, you just like the first thing you think is like, this is not a good football team.
Well, first of all, I don't think we have good preparation. Like, even from last year, Mark Ingram was telling us basically in interviews, we don't have no good preparation. What Sean would do if Sean was there. And AK was saying in the interviews, the signs were all there, and we went on ahead and doubled down on this guy. Now, the reason I think we did double down on him is because, he didn't have a lot of his staff in there. He didn't have his quarterback in there. And we did get hit with the injury bug bad. So I think we said, okay, well, we're going to go ahead on and get this guy another shot. We're going to give his staff he wants. We're going to give him his quarterback that he wants. And hopefully we don't catch the injury bug. And 10 weeks in, we've been injury-free, had this week-old division, had this weak schedule. The schedule got even weaker because a lot of the starting quarterbacks and some of the starting wide receivers, we didn't even play. So we caught all these breaks, and we still can't get it done. And if you bring them back next year, the injury guards ain't going to throw you a bone like we got a bone thrown at us. And we're going to have the top people in the division. And mind you, that Tampa Bay and Atlanta, they might move forward and fire their coaches and draft their quarterback of the future. So we're going to get stuck behind. Mind you, Derek Carr, those injuries piling, and he ain't getting no younger.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The injuries are piling, right? So, that's another thing. I got to just call it how I see it. There's been 3 games this year where the Saints could have won. Some of them the Saints were winning by a good bit. Packers game, where Derek Carr couldn't finish the game. Now, my problem with it is, I know it's unlucky. I know it's unfortunate, but it keeps happening. And Jameis, and not everybody would agree with this, it's just how I'm seeing it. Jameis has to come in on this lack of preparation already. You already know that this preparation ain't good for these games, bro. You know it's not. It's just not. Jameis has to come in.
That's a good point.
And pick up the mess, essentially. You could point to whatever game Derek Carr got hurt in. The Packers game, what was going on? We were winning. We were up. And then we let him storm back. Why? Derek Carr was playing, the offense was not in sync. And that, to me, that comes down to the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. So it's not just the offensive coordinator or it's both of them. You the leader, the quarterback, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to make plays, bro. $60 million guaranteed, you're supposed to make plays.
Yeah, and then he went to the hospital, I believe, in that Green Bay game. So he probably was more hurt than what we really think. And he probably just really battling like some severe injuries. And we just don't know. We remember when Drew retired and his wife came out saying all the injuries he was really battling through. And it's like, damn, the Saints really be just trotting out players out there that they ain't got no business playing. Last year, Debo was playing on a high ankle sprain due to other injuries, so he just said, okay, well, we need him to play. We had Michael Thomas out there playing when he had no business, but it was Drew last year. So it just a lot of things. It just question like, damn, man, why would you bring in Jameis and have this quality backup when you can have preparation with him throughout the whole week, and just rest Derek Carr? Because I think that's the issue with a lot of these balls that are inaccurate. His throwing arm and his ribs.
Yeah, no, like, okay, that's why I can't stand when people on Twitter be like, okay, that's not Derek Carr's fault. That's on A.T. Perry. Like, I got all the examples. A.T. Perry doesn't run a route right 2 weeks ago. Okay, it was in the corner of the end zone. But here's my thing. This is what people don't think about. Here's my thing. You were coming off a bye week. Okay, the call, leader of the team, the quarterback, the most pressure position, the star, the expectations. It's all on the quarterback. So what's the difference between Derek Carr and Drew Brees right here? Drew Brees off a bye week, he would have been in A.T. Perry's house, in his bedroom, showing him that play. And I promise you, A.T. Perry would have understood that route. What does Derek Carr do off of a bye? And this is not just Drew Brees. This is really any of the top 15 quarterbacks in the league today would do this. What does Derek Carr do off a bye? He's not on the same page with his receiver. This is Derek Carr. Like, I don't have to, look at it no more, bro. Who does that off of a bye week? There should be no miscommunications off of a bye week, especially in the red zone. Like, dude, that is the difference. Derek Carr to Juwan Johnson. Derek Carr sitting there. A.T. Perry, again, wide open. Like, dude, you messed up. Y'all had a miscommunication a week before. Then you come back the next week. First play of the game. First play. Derek Carr sits there for 4 seconds. A.T. Perry streaking over the field. Wide open. Derek Carr sits, throws to Juwan Johnson, who has 3 guys coming in on him at the time. To say that that's not Derek Carr's fault is blasphemous to me. It really is. It's the first play of the game. You're the star quarterback. We need a turnaround. We need you to play better. And that's what you do on the first play with a dude wide open. That's Derek Carr.
Yeah, man. It just suck all over the place. But it's just pain everywhere. But
yeah.
I kind of want Dennis Allen to keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing, because hopefully next Sunday the nail could just get put in the coffin by the Panthers. Because a lot of people feel like Mickey won't fire Dennis Allen because they have some buddy system going on and all that. But I disagree, man. I really believe that it's a breaking point with everyone. Like, at some point, you just gonna have to see things like it is and see things for what it is. But if you were Mickey Loomis, what is your perfect offseason scenario?
If I'm Mickey Loomis right now, I'd have to imagine that Mickey Loomis is probably 50-50, like he's trying to get out of this. And what I mean by that is, dude, I don't think Mickey Loomis is going to ever get fired. I think Mickey Loomis is going to do what Sean Payton did. And he's going to be like, hey, man, I'm tired. So that's essentially what Sean did. I'm tired, and I'm tired of this team. Like, I can't do this no more. And I think that will eventually happen. Do I think it'll happen by next year? No. But you never know. What's definitely not going to happen is Gail Benson is not going to fire Mickey Loomis or anything like that. So Mickey Loomis would have to make the call on Dennis Allen. Then we go through another turnaround. But if not, I mean, the only way this regime could come back for me, and what I say about this regime, I mean, maybe Dennis Allen. Maybe Dennis Allen if he got a way better offensive coordinator. And I'm talking, it would have to be a significant one. And you drafted a quarterback in the first round. That's the only way I could settle with.
I wouldn't bring Dennis Allen back at all. Like, even if we had a good Drew Brees, I don't think that, because he's not a good preparational. He's not a good preparational, and he's not a good at preparation. He's not a good at situational awareness, like in key moments. Like, if he was to go against another good coach with another good roster, that coach gonna beat him every time. I just feel like. So I wouldn't bring him back. The only way Dennis Allen could get brought back, in my opinion, he Super Bowl or bust. He gonna have to get a ring. I don't care if he NFC Championship. I'll still fire him.
I'm just look. Trust me, bro. I want a guy going as much as the next motherfucker, but I think that I got to keep in mind how this team is. And when I say about this team, I mean like Gail Benson, Mickey Loomis, these guys are very hard to get off that rocker, bro. It's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? So all it takes is them hiring an offensive coordinator that's really good, and they're going to be happy. I'm just telling you what I can't live with. What I can't live with is Derek Carr and Dennis Allen in the same position next year with no first-round quarterback. That's my main thing, bro. And Pete Carmichael got to go. We need a real revamp on the offense because nothing that we did this year will translate to next year. Won't translate to this year. So
now I will say this: if we do somehow creep our way and limp our way into the playoffs, if we match up with the Cowboys, if Dennis Allen beat the Cowboys, I said it on Twitter. I say it again. I still want him fired, but damn it, he could have his own hand grenade. He could have his own street named after him. He could have his own po' boy sandwich named after him. Even to play the Red Beans, I wouldn't give a damn.
Bro,
I still want to fire him, but I want to get their ass. I would like to get their ass.
If Dennis Allen beat the Cowgirls in the playoffs, I know we just, we on clouds right now, but if that ever happens,
they're gonna build him a statue.
Dude, let me tell you something, bro. I would change my complete view of this man, but there's no way I'm smoking.
But when I ask you the question, like, I'm not saying if what you think Mickey Loomis is gonna do. I'm just saying basically if you're Mickey Loomis, like, how would you go into this offseason? Like, you the man with all the power. Like, what will be your offseason moves?
If everything keeps going as it is, if I was Mickey Loomis, I would definitely get rid of Dennis Allen. He's not going to step down the defensive coordinator, and he's not going to get better as head coach. You're right. That's a solid point. He's just not. He's not what he is. I could see Dennis Allen for real. I could see Dennis Allen in Denver as the D coordinator in Denver.
So if you get rid of Dennis Allen, who would you replace him with? Would you go defensive minded head coach, offensive minded head coach? That way you kill two birds with one stone and don't have to look for offensive coordinator as much. And who would you be looking to draft? Like what are those things you're looking at?
I would have to go with the offensive mind because that's what's worked for the Saints, in the past, and what has not worked for the Saints in the past. Defensive minds, defensive, successful head coaches. I mean, I'm talking about dating back to Hazlitt, Ditka. Ditka came from the Bears, bro. One of the best defenses in NFL history. You know what I'm saying? What did that translate to the New Orleans? Not good. So I just think that you got to go with your history and go off of what has worked for you. I mean, there's so many elements to it, bro. What the people want to see. We don't want to see this brand of football, right? We don't want to see us Bailey score and, shit like that. Like, we want to see points, So I have to go with the offensive line. Dude, as far as the draft goes, bro, it's just such a shame that we spent that $60 million. I got to go back to it. It's such a shame we spent that $60 million guaranteed on Derek Carr because, man, you could have rolled with Jameson Taysom. I mean, this is hindsight. You could have rolled with Jameson Taysom and got to the same spot you are this year, right? Saved a lot of money, all hindsight, and you'd be in the top 10 right now looking to draft a playmaker, change your franchise right away. Now you have to be in the first round looking for a quarterback, which, you just never know. They got certain guys, CJ Stroud, that can play well the first year as a rookie. But then you got other guys like Bryce Young, it's going to take time. And you just got to find the right one, too. There's other guys, guess what? They suck, So you got
to try.
Yeah, dude. It's
crazy. You miss every single shot that you don't take. So that's how I look at it. You got to keep swinging until you hit. Like at the end of the day, the Texans, they kept swinging and they finally hit. Once they got rid of that nice core they had with Andre Johnson and DeAndre Hopkins afterwards, and J.J. Watt and Clowney, and just a lot of those playmakers and the good coaches they had. Once they got rid of all that, they kept trying until they finally hit. And I live in Houston, and I can tell you one thing, man. A lot of these fans are just very excited and very optimistic about their future, and they just the spirit around here just changed like a 360, and I want to get back to that. Like I would love to just have Jaden Daniels in that black and gold and just have this city with hope again and a brand new head coach. And another reason why it's important, I feel like, for Dennis Allen to get fired, and it's important for us to get a franchise quarterback in the first round. We got the 5th-year option with him. And I feel like Dennis Allen, make no mistake about it, eventually he will get fired, but I don't want it to happen later than sooner. Like, I don't want it to happen 4 years later. I want it to happen, soon. That way, if we do bring in a quarterback, we ain't got to hit the reset button and he got to learn a whole different offensive coordinator, get married with a whole different head coach. I want them both to come in together so they could just have a marriage like at the same time, just like how Drew Brees and Sean did. We didn't draft Drew Brees, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I just wanted to together, because if we keep Dennis Allen and draft Jaden, eventually Dennis Allen gonna still get fired, I believe, and we're just gonna have to hit the reset button all over again. And all that gap right there was just wasted time. It just wasted time. So I just think this is the perfect opportunity to just clean slate and start off fresh right now.
Yeah, and I think, dude, bro, hey, these moves that we're gonna make in the offseason are huge. They're important. They're significant. But dude, I really think that you have. We say this every year about the Saints. You have to hit in the draft. Bro, we cannot go another draft where you don't hit. And this is the most important thing, bro, because it really is hurting us. Somebody called my show and said, man, we got to keep Jeff Allen. I said, you know what I said? I said, does he do the drafting? And he said, yeah, he does. I said, bro, dude, we have so much talent that we have missed out on with these draft picks that we've taken. You name a player. We could start with this year. Foskey, and when he was second round? Foskey? They don't even want to play him. They don't want to play him. We down on bad minimums right now. They don't want to play this dude. Okay, Peyton Turner, you literally, bro, for real, bro, like, you could put in a missing report on Peyton Turner right now, and the police department would take it. They would be serious. I'm serious. Like, we don't know where this guy is, okay? Marcus Davenport, we traded up to get him. And might I mention, 19 selections before Lamar Jackson. Traded up. We have missed so bad.
Our next first-round pick, like, that move right there set us back a lot. Like, that was probably the worst moves that we could have ever had. And even if, I always say this, even if Marcus Davenport would have hit and he just became some Hall of Fame defensive end, I'd rather take my chances on a Hall of Fame quarterback and Lamar Jackson, because I was just for certain we were about to take Lamar. I was for certain.
Yeah.
But we went with Davenport. That's a project player who probably would have still been there in the second round. And not only did we go up for him, we traded our next year's first round pick. So who knows what that next year's that first round pick that we traded? Who knows who we could have got that could have been, helping out this team right now? Who knows?
Right.
But
and then the Eagles got for dude. We have, in my opinion, this team is bad because of the draft the last few years.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. I do think this is where we disagree. Mickey Loomis, I don't want him fired just yet. Everybody want his head. I don't want him fired just yet because he did everything he's supposed to do as a general manager. I just think that he went with the wrong move with Dennis Allen and he doubled down on it. But like I say, he doubled down on it because he gave everything Dennis Allen wanted. He gave him his quarterback, his staff, and we're just hoping that we have better luck with injuries. And on top of that, you looked at the division and said, well, with Derek Carr as the veteran, we should be able to easily win this division. So I seen a vision. I seen why Mickey gave Dennis Allen a shot in the first place, because Dennis Allen, even though I wanted Doug Peterson, he kind of earned that, that shot, because he changed this defense. Like, he changed this defense. But after you know what Dennis Allen was, you're supposed to just move on, bro. Don't just go ahead on and just, double down on it. Go ahead on and move on. And then when he gave him his second chance, he gave him everything that he wanted. That's what a GM is supposed to do. But if he bring back DA again, I would think that I would want him to be fired if he tried to bring back DA for a third stint after what happened this year. Like, you had everything on a silver platter and you still couldn't handle it. You had everything you wanted, you still couldn't handle it, you still squandered it. So if you try to bring him back a third year, I would want him gone. And Jeff Ireland, that's what we kind of agree. We got a good competing team right now because of Jeff Ireland. Like, we got talent everywhere. It just, I think they are misused. I just really believe that we're just misusing them. If we had an offensive minded head coach, Jawan Johnson would have more receptions. Jimmy Graham would have more touchdowns. I believe Taysom, he's still kind of doing good regardless. But I know for sure that Alvin will be looking better. A lot of things will just be looking much better and much more simple and not harder than what it need to be. Like that's just how I feel. So when it comes to Jeff Ireland, you say a lot of misses, but we have a lot of hits. Matt Moscona, he went through all the hits that we had over the years, and it's a lot. It's a long list. Like, every team have misses.
But I'm not saying there's not. But what I'm saying is, utilizing your first round pick. No,
that was the worst thing. That was.
No, he's missed a lot. He's missed a lot on the first run and the second.
That's bad.
Like, and it's not. Look, it's not. I'm not dating back since he got here. I'm saying the last few years.
No, but I mean, even in the last 2 years, we got Brazil. He's good. I think Kendrick Miller. Yeah, I think Brazil is.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. He's good.
Well, I'm just saying we picked Brazil at like number 20 or something.
Yeah, he's good.
Well, he was like the number 20th pick. So
he's
for where we drafted him, I believe we got good value, and I think that he's going to excel. I think he's going to get better. Can't forget we drafted Olave. He's a stud.
That was a great pick. Great pick. Olave, yeah, great pick.
Olave's a stud. We drafted Trevor Penning. The jury's still out on him, but he's looking.
No, the jury is sleeping.
I think he's out of position. He should have been a right tackle. He should have been a right tackle. I didn't want him at Derek Carr blindside from the jump. I didn't want him at Derek Carr blindside. He should have been a tackle. Some people think he's a guard. But at the end of the day, I don't think we should have went with another project player like that in the first round. But I understand that they had a hole from Tyron Anderson. I mean, I say Tyron Anderson.
Armstead, yeah.
Yeah, Tyron Armstead. I understand you had to feel that, but stop drafting project players in the first round. But just like Penning, look at Alontae Taylor. He's good. We drafted him in the same draft.
He's good.
No, Alontae Taylor is good. He's just looking like this in the slot. He's looking like this in the slot. But when he was on that corner, when the Debo was out, he was locking stuff down.
I remember. Yeah, that one game where
I'll give a player a little grace when they learn in a new position. And that's another thing. A lot of our players are out of position. You look at Bond. You look at Cesar Ruiz. You look at it's a ton of players who playing out of position. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like I say, man, Jeff Ireland, he really set us back with that Davenport draft. I don't know who call that was. Some people say it probably was Sean Payton call, but I heard that he was overruled. Who he was overruled by, I don't know. But my guess is Jeff Ireland. But I think it's like a vote. I think it's like a vote with like at least about 5 or 6 of them in majority rules. That's how I think it goes. Yeah. That's what the Panthers owner said, at least about Bryce Young.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna miss in the draft. Even Sean Payton and Mickey Loomis, and they drafted Gary Reese in the 3rd round. We don't ever talk about that. I
think that was a Sean ego pick. I don't know why he does that. Like Sean, as great as he was, he had his thing. Everybody gonna have something. Not everybody gonna be squeaky clean. I'm pretty sure if you talk to a Patriots fan, they're gonna have some dislikes about Bill Belichick.
Who they drafted or something.
Yeah, when players leave, they have their disdain about Bill Belichick because of the Patriot way. But nobody's gonna be perfect across the board, and that's just what I'm saying about Jeff Ireland. I'm not giving up on him just yet. Yes, he made a bad decision with Davenport, double back and got his clone Peyton Turner. That's just like they twin. That's the Spider-Man meme where they just looking at each other in the multiverse.
Oh yeah, they're gonna open up a flower shop together in Italy or something, bro. They don't want to play football. Them dudes do not want to play football, but you cannot convince me otherwise.
I think they like anime real. You know what I think? I think some players, they just so happen are physically gifted, and they just so happen go try out a sport because their family made them, and they just so happen was good at it, but they're not passionate about it or had that dog in them. Because you can't tell me you're gonna get 0.5 sacks in a whole season, and you got that dog in you. You can't tell me that. I don't want to hear nothing about what type of mental issues you going through and all this and all that, man. Save that, man. Go take it out on the field. If you mad about anything or upset, take it out on that quarterback, especially if you're a defensive end.
Right.
But everybody not built the same.
I'm not buying the mental stuff either, because look at Everson Griffin. He had the worst mental issues out of anybody in the NFL, and he was stacking everybody every time he was on the field. So, I mean, dude, look, I just think that we missed on a couple of and what kills me about it is the players that were in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really, like the Davenport, we obviously know we could have got some dudes. And then the Peyton Turner draft, I mean, could have got literally anybody, and it would have been better than him.
That dude would have been there in the second or third round, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I agree with you when it comes to the front office, when it comes to drafting these players. But we still got to look at all the players that they did draft, that they did good with. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot all over the roster. But, you know, we just
CD Deuce. CD Deuce was a great pick, but they traded him.
Well, I think that was more so Dennis Allen coming in as a substitute teacher and just gotta do something to let the team know he mean business. And I just think that was one of his first things. But just imagine if we'd have kept CD Deuce, put him at safety, and still drafted Alante Taylor and had Alante as, you know, as a third cornerback. Like, man, it would have been the defense would have had so much swag.
I think CD just wanted. I think he made it known too very early how much money he wanted. Because I couldn't even re-sign CD Deuce in Madden. That's how much money CD Deuce wanted that one year, dude. When Madden, you couldn't re-sign. Like, he wouldn't accept anything, and that's when you know when it's going on in Madden too on a contract. That's when you know that the dude was asking for a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And he never got it, dude, because he had some unfortunate injuries and shit. So,
yeah, him having these injuries and him, you know, like with certain characteristics he's having, like, I think that's really hurting him from getting that contract that he really wants. But, you know, at the end of the day, he is a good player, and I wish he could have stayed with the team, but he's gone. He trashed the city, trashed the fans, and
he's a great Saint. He was a great Saint. I give him that.
He's that player that, when he's on your team, you love it. But when he's not on your team and then he's talking trash back to you, you hate it. But it is what it is. I wish we could have kept him, but, you know, I can say that about a lot of players. But, you know, hopefully he has some success with the Lions, because I do kind of like what they got going on over there. Like the Lions, like
Brian Branch.
Hey, man.
Where was he in the draft? Let me ask you.
That's another one. We got Jordan Howden. Like, everybody like him. He's pretty good, you know.
Yeah, he's decent.
I think the main thing with our safeties is the pass rush. We don't have no pass rush at all.
Yeah,
we don't. Man, quarterbacks have time to get back there, do their taxes, do their W-2, and everything else, bro. I'm talking about they there's no type of pressure back there. Like, if you look at the Cowboys game, even when Michael Parsons not getting a sack, you see him all in the quarterback shit.
Yeah, we gotta got that. No.
That makes a whole lot of difference, bro. And they be saying we got these pressures and all this and all that. I'm not. There be pressures when they be like getting near the quarterback. I like pressure when they in a quarterback face. Like, I want
like no matter what. Yeah.
At least hit them. Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah.
But we don't got none of that, and I think that's affecting the safeties. But we still got one of the best secondaries in the league. We still have a lot of turnovers. Like that's probably the only thing DA could say that we doing good at right now. Is just all the turnovers that we get. But we can't do shit with them because the offense can't score in the red zone.
Red zone, right?
Yep. Yeah. But we ain't got no playoff team for sure. Like teams want to win this division so bad. But man, we're gonna be in the same boat and be miserable again if Dennis Allen is back. And I just hope and pray that he's not back, bro. That's all I care about, because it's gonna set us back some years to come if he is.
We'll see, bro. I just hope that we really take a full season serious, man. And what I mean by that is you don't waste it. I consider this a waste of a season so far. And I really do mean that, bro. Like it's just like there's no identity. Whenever you can't establish identity, to me that's a wasted season. You know why? Because you can't carry an identity into the next season. You got to find it again.
Yeah.
See, that's my big problem.
That's a good point. And I said this on Twitter. I said, man, when the chips were on the line, the Falcons, they ran that ball down our throat because they knew that's their butter and that's their identity. What is our identity? Our identity is try something, don't work, take some heel time. That's our identity. That's our identity. That's sad,
bro. We do not have an identity. He had the same problem. That's how you know it's the coach too, because like he had the same problem last year. We couldn't establish one. It's crazy, bro. It really is.
And I think Doug Marrone need to get as much heat as Pete Carmichael because we can't run the ball with no holes. Like when Elvin Kamara run the ball, he have to make something out of nothing. It's never holes that just open up and we can just hit it. Like when teams run the ball on us, you see our defensive line getting pushed back. And that's another thing. Colin Saunders, I really feel like his saving grace is the fullback package. If it wasn't for that fullback package, a lot of fans would be wondering, man, what is this dude doing?
We don't know.
Yeah, a better season. I think Roach been having a better season, and unfortunately, he got hurt.
Oh, absolutely. Malcolm Roach has definitely had a better season. Malcolm Roach has had probably one of the better seasons on the team out of anybody. Malcolm Roach is a hustler. I love, dude. I like Malcolm Roach, bro. He really be trying. You could tell, So
yeah, man. We brought in Colin Sanders, we brought in Nathan Shepard, and we thought that they was gonna be so much of an upgrade over Shy Tuttle and On Your Mama, but it's not panning out like we thought it would, And Brian Brazil, he come in. Yeah, he come in. Yeah, man, he come in every now and then, but I think
On Your Mama was huge, bro. Are you serious, bro? Like that dude. I said losing On Your Mama, that was a big deal, man. That dude performed as a Saint for years. On Your Mama.
I think he was good when he had somebody next to him. Just like when Grady Jarrett was next to him for Atlanta, I think he really performed good and excelled top tier when he was next to Malcolm Brown. Like he needs somebody next to him. He can't just dominate and hold it down by himself and just be that anchor. But at the end of the day, we still haven't did what we tried to do, and that's to stop the run. Like teams see us, they say, "Oh, well, we can run the ball on us. We can run the ball on them with our quarterback, our running back. If we need to get right game on the ground, let's play the Saints. Our tight end in the funk, let's go ahead on and play the Saints." But I digress. But when it comes to the special teams, that's another component. We ain't got what it takes to go far in the special teams, and that was another bad move by Dennis Allen. I didn't really care about.
Saints have never had that. They've never really had that problem. They might have had it like once for like a few months, whatever. But they're always pretty much consistent kicker, man. John Carney, Will Lutz, Hartley. Like they always had like a consistent kicker. Now we, Groupie and this dude that does tattoos from Australia, bro. Like
I mean, that's because good coaches value that. Good coaches value special teams because the kicking game is an extension of the offense. The punting game is an extension of the defense when it comes to field position. Like those hitting yards, people don't really see until you have a shitty special teams. Like I remember the Chargers, they was like the number one defense, the number one offense, but they missed the playoffs because like they were the worst special teams. Like that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. But yeah, man, I when it came to Lutz in what's our kicker name? Shit.
Groupie.
Yeah, when it came to Lutz and Groupie, I didn't really care who we went with like because Groupie was doing pretty good, but I was like, man, doing good up in the training camp and all that. That's different than a real game when it's under pressure. But I didn't really care about that. But I don't know why the hell we went with our punter over Blake, uh, or over Blake.
Gilligan. Yeah,
Yeah, Blake
Gilligan,
Gilligan. Like Gilligan, he had that one down season, but his rookie year he went off. Meanwhile, he's in Arizona averaging like 50 something a kick.
Oh, I bet he is. Probably punting his nuts off, because they're scoring a lot of points, So, yeah, it's crazy, bro. Just some of the decisions, man. It's crazy when it goes down to like the punter and the kicker too. It's just when bro. It's just when bro. You know that this is just out of operation. It's like going to the gas station and they ain't got no zebra cakes, and there's nothing in that. It's like y'all not doing the inventory. Now y'all got to do better. Ain't no cigarettes in it. Y'all got to get the inventory better. This team doesn't. They not. Something just ain't right, bro. Something just it's off about them. But anyway,
I got. All right. What's your prediction for this Panthers game coming up?
Maybe we won by 3 last time. So I just I'm not. I can't say that the Saints are going to win. I think it'll be a low-scoring game. I think somebody's going to win 20-23. 23-20 type game. 20-17 like the last game. Carolina. I know the defense probably hasn't been playing good as of late, but like historically, when the Saints play them, that defense usually shows up against the Saints. I'm dating back to Drew Brees. Like they always would show up.
And I think they got J.C. Horn back, so that'll be something.
Of course they do. Of course.
The Undertaker just all of a sudden back to life when they play the Saints. But a lot of people talking about drafting Jaden Daniels, but I'm starting to hear a lot of people looking at Michael Pratt. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, if you could get Michael Pratt like in the later rounds, but I just don't think that. But see, I'd say no because, again, you got to get a first-round quarterback. You got to hit on him. So if you're there, the one thing you can't do is what you've done in the past.
Okay.
And you cannot pass up on a Lamar Jackson, on a Patrick. Well, I know they didn't pass up on Mahomes, but they just missed out on him. And it's just like these are quarterbacks that will change not just your franchise, they'll change your city economy. I mean, dude, when the quarterback's good, bro, everything's good, dude. Everything.
All right, so before I let you go, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the Pelicans for a little bit. Like, we're in the semifinals in the play-in tournament. Like, what do you think about the Pelican season so far, and how do you think the chemistry between Zion and BI is when the media was just trying to put them against each other and a fan base?
Yeah, I mean, look, we've already learned so many examples on why not to trust anything on the big media when it comes to the Pelicans or the Saints. They just love, for whatever reason, to say obnoxious, like not even true things. You know what I'm saying? I think this is what I think. Last night, with that team going forward, that's a dangerous team, bro. I mean, dude, it's a dangerous team when you waiting for Trey Murphy to get in. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't even starting, and you waiting for Trey Murphy to get in.
I think he got the right sauce. I think he got the right ingredients on what it take to be that type of guy. Like, if we'd have traded BI, I would have been mad, but at the same time, knowing that we got Trey Murphy, I wouldn't just be as mad because I really think he that dude.
But try this year, we need to be happy that we got BI and Trey Murphy because the only reason we need depth. That's what the Pels have always needed, because what happens in the playoffs and stuff like that, like all these players that are coming off the make names for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And look at Caleb Martin last year for the Heat. Caleb Martin, well, he couldn't miss, and he was just coming off the bench. And it's like, dude, there's so many examples, and we need to have that if we get to the playoffs. And we haven't had that in the past. Obviously, we always injured, and it's always mass injuries. It's just several dudes. Well, I will say one thing compared to last year. It looks like he's staying healthy a little longer. Zion staying healthy a little longer. Zion didn't have the best game last night, but you know what? Doesn't matter because enough other dudes did, and that's why you got such a deep roster. You know, Jose Alvarez last night like he was on one. You know, might not scored a whole lot of points, but he was on one, bro. Like that's we just need to tell the dudes that weren't healthy at the end of last year.
Yeah. Well, man, when it came to the Saints, man, we went from gumbo to goulash with Sean Payton. But when it come to a team just having some type of drip and swag with them and just maintaining that culture, I think the Pelicans, they could just hold it down while we just going through misery with the Saints. Like, what's your ceiling for the Pels?
Oh, my ceiling is we need to get to like not we need to, but my ceiling is, man, I can see these dudes like maybe sneaking into the conference finals, bro. They just gotta, you know what I'm saying? And even if they don't sneak into something that big, they'll be in the playoffs, and bro, you're gonna hate to play them. You know, Phoenix did not like to play the Pelicans, bro. We were a problem, and that was without time.
Yeah, man.
That was Jonas, Bi, and CJ and Larry.
We that team that's on the come up, bro, and they just better hope that Zion don't get into full shape when it comes to like just that playoff speed and the game speed. Then we're gonna be even more dangerous. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, Devin, bro. Appreciate for joining the show, man. You done dropped a lot of gems. It was real fun doing this, man. Let the people know where they could follow you at and check out some of the content and just come support you.
Yeah, no, dude, it's been a pleasure, man. Always good just conversating with people who are interested in the same stuff as me. And it's Snow Like John. You find me on Instagram, Twitter, and John Jon. Put it in, and or hold the Mayo. If you ever just want to find me on the internet, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, whatever, just put hold the Mayo, and I'm gonna pop up. It never used to be that way. I used to have to kind of like show people, this is how you get to it. No, man, you put hold the Mayo in, bro, I'm popping up. So
that shit popping up. Well, thanks for it was a pleasure you coming onto the platform, man. Thanks, man, and just keep doing what you're doing, like Dennis Allen said. But
hey,
we liking the content, bro. We liking the content. Keep it coming, bro. Funny content. I always tune in. You one of the Saints Twitter biggest public figures. When you talk, people listen. Man, keep it up, bro. That's all I gotta say, bro.
Much love, my bro. And I'm just like everybody else, bro. I'm just a fan. You know what I'm saying? I love this shit. So anyway, much love, I appreciate it. And yeah, dude, good conversation, bro. Who dat? Go Pels.
Who dat?